So what is the present thing with me is what I'm doing right now. We keep thinking about past mistakes and we start planning for the future, ignoring the present. So it's not about religious or spiritual inclination rather, but it's a social upliftment on a whole to make you peaceful and wear a smile.
It takes a passionate heart to tell a story, but a special soul to listen with their mind. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Seema Chhoriya, and I welcome you all to another insightful session on great principles. Joining me in conversation is Dr. Sonali Basu, Principal, Shekhawati Public School, Dundlod, Rajasthan. She's a very passionate female, and her story is certainly full of a lot of insights and inspiration for you. So let's get started and let's hear it out from her. What are her thoughts? What are her ideologies? Welcome to Great Principles, ma'am. We are very, very honored to have you with us.
Good afternoon, ma'am. And really, it's a welcoming session. Definitely meeting you and also being getting an idea of meeting with many people.
So, as I am looking here that we have all have a story to share. So, before we begin, ma'am, let us hear out your story. I know that you are a big follower of Bhagavad Gita, and there is a lot of inspirations in you which has been brought in from that particular scripture. So, tell us something, ma'am. What lessons from Bhagavad Gita have guided you to become a guru to your disciples, and how did it all begin? When did you decided to become a teacher and join in the education domain?
Now, it is a wonderful question which you have asked me. And the thing is that it's not that I am very fond of Bhagavad Gita. I think it's a course of life which we unconsciously lead through Bhagavad Gita. And there is nothing as such which is not mentioned in this global manual, which is not a part of our daily life. So, as you rightly said, that when did I start this journey, or when did I decide to become a guru or something? To be very honest, what I feel is that we can't become a guru. We are the overall disciple of this nature, and we are subjected to nature. And since my childhood, I have been fortunate to have many challenges in my life. Perhaps that was the first or beginning lesson of Bhagavad Gita, that unless and until you begin with the challenges, you don't gain the experience. Okay, every day starts with a challenge and ends up with an experience. So this is all about my journey also till date. Since childhood till date, I have faced many challenges, and I'm so very thankful to these challenges because that has given me lots of experience to be where I am today. And when I came to read Bhagavad Gita when I was at the age of 15 to 16, I could now relate all that things which I have been doing, the way I could solve my challenges. It was also a part of this global manual. So I think nobody is out of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, and perhaps this is the only reason, which may sound sarcastic, but it is a fact that more than the Indians, the people abroad who are non-Indians have taken and accepted it even as a subject in their schools, and they are following each thing about it. And perhaps that's the reason for which ISKCON has now been branded as a global institution to train and motivate people. So it's not about religious or spiritual inclination rather, but it's a social upliftment on a whole to make you peaceful and wear a smile.
Certainly, very rightly said. Yes, Bhagavad Gita is one such manual which takes you, gives you all the answers, whichever is there, it lies there. That is what is said about this wonderful book. And even I have a lot of belief in this. And what I loved most about you and your journey is you always use the word. I was fortunate that I had a lot of challenges in my life. You know, I don't know, many people say that they were fortunate to get challenges, but yes, challenges do open up, do let us know what strength do we have, what are the opportunities that were waiting and we were not looking into it. So, this is the biggest takeaway from ma'am's journey. To all my dear viewers, don't be afraid of challenges. If you also get challenges, you're certainly fortunate because it's another learning experience which is opening. And she also mentioned that she's a disciple. That means she's a learner throughout, and that is the biggest quality of any leader. If you're not a lifelong learner, then you're failing yourself also. So what a wonderful journey ma'am has, and there is much more to learn from her. So let us move ahead to our next question. Ma'am, today the entire parenting, the entire guidance, the entire mentoring scenario is changed. Now, children, initially also it was like that. Children used to just follow the instructions which were given. But what they believe is if someone is practicing what they're preaching, that is where they connect. So tell me one thing, what are the qualities that make us good role models for the children and the youth also today?
Right. What we understand is that, especially, I would like to suggest to all the leaders. I mean, actual leader is the nature. We cannot defy that. But when we are in a position and when we are being designated as a leader, the fundamental role of a leader should be to change the understanding pattern. Because I have often asked many people, how do you define a principle? So again, I will take it from what I have learned from my founder, guru, Srila Prabhupada. He went to foreign land and he was been asked by a foreigner that every Indian come to a foreign land and brings a new god with them. So what have you come and what you want to take away? He said, I didn't come here to take away anything. I have come here to give you something. So when he was asked that whom you think you are, do you think you are a leader? Do you think you are another god from India? He replied, no, I am not the god from India. Rather, I'm a servant of God. Later, he had hold his ears saying that, sorry, I should be apologetic. I'm not servant of God. Rather, I'm servant of servants of God. So to every leader, this is one quality which has attracted me about this institution is that if a person of 72 years can think that he is a servant of servants, then everyone sitting in the chair of a principal, especially, should actually understand the role of a principal is as a servant for the servants. Because unless and until we have this noble attitude, we cannot have the empathy, we cannot have that humanity to feel what is happening in others. I will never say that a leader should not be strong, should not be strict, but that doesn't mean that we will forget the humility. So this is one of the fundamental quality which I think should be there. And as you have asked a very good question, a very thoughtful question, that how we can involve and how we can involve or we can influence the youth and the students, I think it should be in an auto-generated process. When they find somebody as a mentor doing what they are, they will definitely follow. And this we have also experienced. There are certain teachers whom we have loved, and loving the teacher, we started loving the subject. And there are certain subject which we loved, but since we couldn't love the teacher, we couldn't love the subject. So it is important that we should love the communicator, the person from whom we are going to learn, and then only we can go through the journey because the influencer will automatically be influenced. So this is exactly the lesson which we have seen in Bhagavad Gita. In chapter 1, being the supreme Godhead, Krishna didn't say anything. But in the following 17 chapters, only he said, and Arjun was the listener. So this is one quality that the leaders should be having themselves, and automatically it will be given as a legacy to the people who are learners. That if I am understanding the pain of others, the others will definitely be understanding my pain. And even if they don't understand my pain, at least I will be happy that I could actually give myself at their needs.
Absolutely. School education is a very critical phase of a child's life. It shapes the character, it shapes us who we are, because that is the only time of our life when our mind can be molded. And when we have the right gurus, when they are connecting with us, that is when this experience becomes divine. When our teachers are connected, as you rightly said, you need to be empathetic, you need to understand what is going on, and for that you need to build this connect. So this is very, very important. And yes, to all my dear teachers, to all my dear learners, and to all my dear leaders also out there, this is something very, very essential and this shouldn't be left out. Try to be the empathetic leader, the servant leadership is something which should be followed. So, this was again a wonderful answer given by ma'am. So, moving ahead to my next question, as you said ma'am, that we all work harder, and the leaders have a lot to do, and it's not only about leadership. But even leaders need that kind of motivation, that kind of push. So tell me, what is that excites it? Is it the appreciation? Is it the rewards? Or awards and rewards, are they integral in a person's life to be termed successful? Because these days specifically, when you have some certification or something attached, some recognition attached, that is when people also recognize your efforts. So what is your take on this?
Fine. To be very honest, ma'am, I'm really fortunate to all my mentors, my teachers, my students, and everybody, even you, as a part of my life, that we are having a session together. I feel everyone has rewarded me because for them I have received materialistic awards. Recently, I am being awarded with the Bharatiya Sarva Shiksha Sarvocham Shiksha Parishad Padak. That was the award which we have got on 30th of this month, last month. And more than that, I would just like to share, even Dr. Abdul Kalam's award also was there for me. And for last 7 years, uh, at a stress, I've been getting a award for the best principal and administrator. But the best part, which I would like to share to all the viewers and to you also, that more than these awards, perhaps this was the best award which I've got from my parents, from my management, from my students, and most, uh, what to say, most cautiously, I should say that I have got from the people who were giving me the awards. They were surprised to see the dress that I wear, and they were surprised to see the simplicity because to them, a principal cannot have such a simple life, right? So this is something which I have earned more than all the rewards. There have been many rewards which I've got as a principal, as a mentor, but I enjoyed receiving the awards as a spiritual mentor, as a motivational speaker, and as a mentor of all my family, my students and their parents, and everybody related to me, even the management. I think most often people ignore them, but they are the most, what to say, most passive members who keep lots of expectations and have the blind belief that yes, a person who has been given the lead will definitely take us through. So there's a blind trust that management shows. And I'm so very fortunate that I could keep up to their expectation. And along with the awards, this was the best reward that people could believe me. People could come to me and thank me because they feel happy and comfortable talking to me. So this is what I can tell you about the awards. And I really appreciate it's a wonderful thing which after COVID people are doing it more sincerely in awarding the people who have worked and they're recognizing and thankful to people like you who are bringing such people and their acknowledgements, achievements in front of many. So this is needed because after all, we are not God, isn't it? So we also want somebody to be a Krishna and give us that pat that yes, you are doing good and you will be doing more good if you are being felicitated. It is essential.
Beautifully answered, and thank you so much for recognizing our efforts also in doing what we are. And ma'am rightly said, when you earn this, that when someone is in trouble and someone is lost and they come up to you and you are the one who show them the light, that is the true reward that anyone can have, because then you start mattering in people's life. People start looking up to you. And that is what our existence is all about, right? So this is again a beautiful thought and a wonderful answer given by ma'am. Now we have reached to the very interesting segment of the show, which is called rapid fire round. So, ma'am, you have to answer me in one word or a sentence. All right. So, here comes my very first question to you. The book that you are reading currently.
Bhagavad Gita,
I know that was coming. What do you want people to remember about you?
the best servant of God,
What are your hobbies?
talking to people, singing,
Mhm.
and motivating others.
What is your favorite childhood memory?
My first day with the father, I was in a missionary school, and the lessons which he had taught me.
One thing that you love about your current school?
Everything.
Everything. All right. If you were supposed to give one advice to our youth, what would that be?
Enjoy life and take up challenges. because you will end up with experience.
What is your recipe of an ideal school?
Taking up everything as a challenge and giving an experience to the school back.
Beautiful. Do you collect anything?
Uh, Please come again. Do
Do
I?
you do you collect anything?
Yes, I do collect every day's feedback, and I'm so thankful that I get another day to use those knowledge and execute my learning.
Are you a movie buff?
And am I a
Movie
movie?
buff. Buff.
No.
What is that you do for entertaining yourself?
I like to talk to people, especially those who are in need. If they are happy, I'm happy.
What is your one prized possession?
My smile.
Last question in this segment. Do you have any hidden talents?
It's true, and since it's hidden, it comes out with time. Even I get surprised that okay, I had this.
So what are the hidden talents that you have came across so far?
I never knew that I can motivate so many people. I never knew that people become so happy when they are in touch with me.
Great. So keep like this and keep motivating people. And your simplicity is truly the ultimate sophistication that you're carrying every day. And yes, your smile is contagious too. So that is definitely a prized possession that you have. So it was wonderful to know you in this segment. In few words, also, we got to know a lot about you. Now we move to the last question of the show. This is also called the expert talk question and the viewer's choice question. So, ma'am, as you are a spiritual guru, also, you understand the other emotional aspect also of the people, the child today, maybe lack of time that parents have, or the lack of friends, or the covid, or there are so many things that play with the mind of these young children. They are lost at times, and many schools, they do have counselors on board. So what do you think, this do are these counselors able to perform their duties and responsibility effectively, or what else can be done so that the emotional well-being of the student is ensured at school?
Right. The first thing I would say very openly that a single counselor cannot do anything. And although a post definitely the school can only keep one counselor as per the guidelines of the board, but what I train or what I have been training or doing, I keep on training all the teachers because every teacher or every staff in the school can act as a counselor. When they are united, they have been constantly trained and motivated. They are the one who can be a good counselor to every child coming to that school, and that is the real one. That is not a superficial or artificial one, and it is not the stereotype counseling session that you call on the students and just talk to them. It cannot be done within 2 to 3 minutes. It needs some time, and that can be only done, which I have been doing in different schools. We have a happy zone where people just come with a smile. So initially the teachers start, and it has been continued with the leaders. Who are the leaders? The leaders are the students, and also in the PTM we have some parents doing it. So they are also a part of our school for doing all these activities, and it is very much essential because unless and until you are happy, you can wear a smile and make other superficially happy, but ultimately it will be very temporary. So I believe that not it is not only a role of a counselor, an appointed counselor, but every teacher, by the constant training and motivation by the leader of that school, will really bring up the counseling session in a very healthy way, because parents nowadays cannot give that much of time which in our times we used to get from the parents, or at least the company. It's not that our parents used to be always with us, but we knew that parents are there beside, which the children nowadays lack. So if the students get that same thing with the teachers, they will be a different person, because 8 hours is not a short time which to spend with the teacher.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, very rightly said, that what is the role of each and every person in the organization and how they are the counselors for the students. I completely agree with it because, the sessions, just 2, 3 minute sessions, cannot do much rather than just soothing him, but to understand and to know the root cause of the issue, we need to have a constant relationship with that child. So ma'am, as parents have a lot of expectations from schools ne ye bhi karna chahiye, wo bhi karna chahiye, this to be there. What do you think that school expect back from the parents?
School expects a lot because they first expect that the parents should have the belief. The parents should at least have the respect towards the teacher. But it can only be done. That's why again I will end up with saying this, that karam is in your hand, fal ki ummeed mat karo. But what happens? The unfortunate thing is we are just doing the opposite. Much before doing a work, we are actually waiting for the results. And expecting the results, we cannot perform well. Actually, the basic understanding or explanation, people often think कि Lord Krishna ने ये क्या कहा, कर्म करो फल के बारे में मत सोचो, बिना फल के हम लोग कर्म करेंगे कैसे या क्यों करें. But the fact is that we don't know, but nature has given thought many things to offer us. When we are asking, perhaps I'm asking only 1 lakh from nature, but perhaps nature has planned 15 lakhs for me. So people say you don't expect for your result, you just do your work. So if all follow the strategies, if now I would just like to just take a few minutes more to explain one thing. The difference between these two words, spiritual and ritual. If you just write it down, you will see S is just an additional letter before rituals. So if you use this S, your rituals become spiritual, and you cannot defy this S from your life, because when you are doing rituals, you are not having that empathy. But once you add this S and add spirituality, at least you get peace of your mind, and that will actually define what the Lord has said. If I am doing something and if I think that yes, you are happy, my answers could satisfy your needs to some extent. If I think that, that will give you and me happiness. But if I think how many people are watching what I am saying, then perhaps I will not get that end through, because I will be more devoted in understanding who all are my audience, isn't it? And even I don't know, the computer on the interview may get hacked, it may be destroyed, or something other may happen. So what is the present thing with me is what I'm doing right now, and I will try to give the best. Now what is their rest for it or with it, that is decided by the nature. So I can only perform. So I request everyone just to do the work in such a way that they should think that this is the only time we are having. But unfortunately, we keep thinking about past mistakes and we start planning for the future, ignoring the present. So, for all the students, for all the teachers, for all the leaders, I would really like to refer that we have done a lot for leading. We have taught the children that if you want a good living, you should have a better earning. For earning, you should do the living. But nobody talks about how to live the life. Life is the fundamental factor. Living is just a part after you restore your life. So I would like everybody to give attention to the life, not only to living. That's why I'm a principal. I have been a principal for the last 29 years in reputed schools. And that's the only reason for which I preferred joining to this school other than moving on to a metro in Mumbai. Because I wanted to give that life to the children. In metros, many people, they are really unfortunate that they are running after getting their living, but they are not being taught or shown the light of life. So they will finish off their life without understanding what is life, because they have been only taught how to get a better living. So I would prefer first you have the life and then you think of living.
Beautiful thoughts, very nicely explained. Yes, live in the moment, give 100% to whatever you're doing. Life is all about experiences that we have, whatever amount or earning that we are doing, or whatever, how much we spend, that does not qualify, because the memories are built with the experiences, what we are giving back, what we are doing in the moment, how we are affecting, how we are influencing people around us, and how our presence is affecting in a good manner. So that is always that is required. So make your life an example which others would love to live also. So it's a wonderful session. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your journey, your thoughts, and a lot of beautiful guidance from the manual Bhagavad Gita with us. To all my dear viewers, do take up time to read this book and ensure that you just read it loud with your children also, it definitely plays at work, and it definitely has an important role to play in the life of everyone. So this was all about Dr. Sonali Basu. Beautiful session, a lot of learnings. Thank you so much. We are really honored and privileged today.
And I would like to just add one more thing, ma'am. That as you said that you are encouraging that others should encourage the students to learn Bhagavad Gita, I would request one more thing. I would like to add on very consciously about this thing, that they should not read this as a religious text. They should take up as a spiritual manual, or rather global manual, globally accepted manual. Because I would like to give one more information about me, that I am being trained from a Christian missionary school, which has actually given me a foundation. And when I went up to 16 years, I could get in reach of this manual text, right? So I have seen that this is not only for religious purpose. It is a global manual to train yourself to understand what is right and what is living. Thank
Certainly,
you so much.
absolutely, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time with us. And we would love to have you again with a session definitely on values and spirituality. It was really wonderful to talk you here. Take care. Have a wonderful health.